Welcome everybody to this video cast hosted by Skynamo, the field sales app for manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors. I'm joined by a couple of my favorite customers. We've got Nadeem from Rockcliffe Group, as well as Lawrence from Cave Direct.
Hi.
Great to see you there. We'll get on to formal introductions and they'll introduce themselves in a mo. The video cast will take you through an awesome sort of a checklist on how to ensure that your field sales reps can get back out there selling once again. We've gone ahead and surveyed some of our customers in the UK and identified 12 solid points that may help you and your business as a bit of a checklist so that we can get you running and flying on sales again. Nadeem, won't you tell us a little bit about who you are, your business, and just introduce to the audience?
So my name is Nadeem. We're manufacturers, wholesalers, distributors, and importers of frozen ethnic food. So that ranges from products like samosas, kebabs, all the way to even ready meals as well. So we cover a vast range of products, and our customers can be from small little independent stores to big distributors as well.
Fantastic. That's really, really cool. And it's awesome to have Nadeem chimed in from his vehicle. So he's out in the field at the moment, rocking the sales rep power. So thanks, Nadeem. We always love to see an actively involved business owner out in the field. Lawrence, welcome. It's so awesome to have you on the video cast.
Cheers, Brian, mate. It's excited to be doing this. But yes, I'm Lawrence Smale, head of sales for Cave Direct. So yeah, at Cave, we're a family-owned importer and distributor of specialist and craft beer to the UK. We started in 1979 and have grown our portfolio to over 250 beers that we distribute all over the UK. That's all done for our own logistics network. So we've got depots in Kent, Bristol, Manchester, and Newcastle, and we've got 12 reps on the ground spreading the word of good beer.
Absolutely awesome. Bring back the good food and the good drink, and let's hope for a rocking summer, everybody. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through the 12 points. So as I said, we've identified these 12 points as a checklist. You'll all be getting a great PDF at the end of this as well, which will help wrap up these points. But the first point that we've identified is account planning. So, this is really going to help you to determine, where your sales rep should be, where they spend their time, and basically helping to maximize sales. So I just wanted to sort of steer this one over to Nadeem. Nadeem, how important is this sort of account planning now that you guys are getting back out and have in fact been in the field?
Account planning helps us in two ways. One is the fact that we can see how often our reps are actually visiting our customers, the frequency on their sales per item. So we found that it's really important that customers tend to order the key selling items all the time. The fast sellers that are top of the head, they'll just order them like that. But we need to make sure that they have the vast range. And our job from the office is to give our sales team the tool that we can also manage them and help them grow the business.
That's a really, really good point. And I must admit, at Skynamo, without good account planning, we wouldn't be to the place where we are today. It's incredibly important to take heed of that. So point number one was really good account planning. We move on to point number two, which is about reviewing your sales processes. So obviously it's been a while. Some customers have really not had people out in the field at all over this past year's worth of COVID and everything else that's rocked the planet. So it's time to sort of review your sales processes. Lawrence, do you want to pick up on that point and sort of chime in on there in terms of the importance of this particular point?
Yeah, I think throughout the year, if COVID's kind of taught us anything, it's to constantly review and evolve and adapt to kind of what's out there. So for us, it's key for the reps to have all of the information in hand and make sure they know what they're kind of talking about going into meetings. The kind of way the world's changed, you can't sort of no longer sort of pop into a place and see a manager or kind of talk about certain things just off the cuff. It goes back to sort of account planning, but yeah, you kind of need that information in hand before you kind of go in. So yeah, for us, it was about looking at kind of the systems that we had in place. And also as a company, we have all of the information on the accounts there as it is. So we need to make sure that the reps can use that in a digestible form, and through Skynamo, it's been a great asset for us.
Fantastic. That's really good to hear. Thanks for the little plug there, man. We always enjoy that. Moving on to point number 3, it's about enabling this working from anywhere. It would have seemed strange over a year ago, but at the moment we seem to be able to have this ability to work from anywhere. Nadeem, I know this is a point that was really quite critical for you guys in your journey, and as you've been growing, even despite of lockdown, this sort of ability to be able to work from anywhere. How important is that point to you?
Yeah, it's really key because usually you have to either come to the office in the morning, collect all your paperwork, go through everything, even though you've got some sort of remote working by logging into your laptops and what have you. But what we find is having it on your hand, wherever you are, no matter where that is in the world, to be perfectly honest, you can see what's happening in each account, where they've been, what the sales are. So that's a massive advantage, that you can deal with your issues and problems immediately rather than say, give me 2 seconds, I'll just make a quick call and find out.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And as you said, like, we're in this lockdown right now. Some of our reps are on furlough, some are working from home, but you sometimes need some information and you might have to give them a call. And again, it's on their hand. Here you are, go here, do this, do that. See you later.
Awesome. That's really awesome. I think one of the other points that you mentioned that I remember from one of our previous conversations, it may have even been a couple of months ago now, and it might be in the case study. We've got a really nice case study if anyone wants to go and visit that, with the, about the Rockcliffe group and the success that they're having on Skynamo. But it was really around the fact that they actually didn't need to actually come back into the office as much, that because they've got this information, should they need to work from home, they can do it. Should they need to work like you're doing at the moment, Nadeem, from your car, you can do it. So yeah, really good sound point. Please enable your teams to be able to work from anywhere. So yeah, great point. The fourth one was around creating new territory plans. So, things have changed this last year. For instance, you may need fewer reps, or maybe you need more reps. Lawrence, I know this is something that you guys have been dealing with over the last year. Have you had to rejig your territory plans and who works on what and out of what warehouse and those sorts of things?
Yeah, I mean, for us, where we run our own logistics, we have a fleet of vans out on the roads. We need to make sure that they're full, really. So, I mean, if we send a van out which is half full, we need to look at that territory. So, it was about kind of analysing all of the customers that we have and seeing if we can let alone grow that area, but also potentially look at other areas where we can push into. And we've also got a online ordering system, so we've had a lot of new customers come on throughout COVID. So it was also analysing where they're located and how do we then manage that, and then kind of allocating them to the reps, get in touch, seeing what we can do, how do we grow that. It's been a big aspect of kind of returning. So yeah, you may have lost some customers, but there are also new customers in different territories that you may never would have thought would kind of join up, and you have customers where they're off-trade customers, little offer licenses that started buying beer, and in that area you might go there, visit them, and then there might be a pub around the corner that you can then supply to. So for us, it was kind of analysing all that information, giving it to the reps, and then them going back out and talking to them again.
That's great. Really, really well said. I think it's really important to make sure that we review this sort of a process as we kind of dive back out there and in a bid to increase our sales and really get things performing again. So the next couple of points are interesting ones, and especially to Skynamo. So the point number 5 is review budget and commission structures. So given that territories, workloads, the approaches to these have all changed, you as a business are probably going to need to adjust your budgets accordingly and ensure that things like commission structures, as an example, for your sales reps, whether those be in the office, out the office, are adjusted and tweaked. We've certainly had to account for this with different offices that have opened and other offices that have gone into more of a slumber mode. And so please, it's a big part of what we have to do is actually review those budgets. Things aren't the same as what they were 12 months ago, and we need to take that into heed. So I don't know if either of you have anything around budgets or commission structures that you guys have had to deal with in your businesses.
Well, for us, it's slightly different because we're this side of the business is a new business. So in our sense, the reps are all new, relatively. So based on that, our budgets are basically more focused towards the sales sides. And yes, every salesperson has their targets and whatever,
Yeah.
but because we're in such a pandemic, in the area right now, it's a bit harsh on us to hit those targets at the moment. So where we're growing is basically looking at expanding our customer base and looking to grow on that sector and cover our sales from that sector. That's
Yeah.
how we see it grow. And as soon as lockdown starts opening up, our regular
Yeah.
customers can everybody start building on that and then taking the business forward from there.
That's a very mature approach, I think, that you're taking, Nadeem, because many customers have sort of really retreated and gone into sort of almost survival and cutting back hugely, whereas you've been a little braver and you've realized that perhaps you're not going to make the targets that you need to, but you're investing in the future, right? With being able to kind of go out with these budgets. Yeah. I'm going to slide on to point number 6, which is around reviewing COVID-19 protocols. So, by the way, I think everybody's probably really sick of hearing COVID and this for that. And, this is the reason why things aren't doing well. But it's a reality, and it's going to be a reality for a long time. So, I know that even on Skynamo, we've actually had to develop a specific form that our customers can use where they can actually fill in a pre-COVID test. So if you are worried about having your field sales reps go out there back in the road again, or if your customers are worried about receiving sales reps into their stores or into their pubs and restaurants and shops, you can actually send a form ahead of time that's been pre-done to say, look, no temperature symptoms, feeling well for today, all masked up, all those sorts of things that you need to do to help run those COVID protocols. We've actually adopted that into our software as well. So I know that, through speaking to both of you, you guys are, it's a very serious pandemic out there, but you guys are in critical businesses where you're having to supply despite what's going on out there. So yeah, anything to add to that? Any of the fellas out there? Otherwise, we'll sail on to the next point.
No, I think we've done exactly the same on COVID, trying to look at how we can minimize contact with customers through delivery, but then also support customers in pubs. So whether we can support with benches for outside or POS material or whatever, it's kind of, again, that goes into your budgets. You kind of use that to support where you can. But fingers crossed the pubs are opening this Monday. So
yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to be out there. Which is good. So if we can stay with you, Lawrence, actually, because the next point that we're here to talk about on our checklist is point number 7, which is check stock levels. I mean, it seems like an obvious thing, but to be honest, I think it's critical, because almost there's been no ordering, or in some instances, people don't need stock because they've had it. But all of a sudden, when things open up again, and I know even sort of Nadeem on your side, when people start doing parties again, there's going to be a mad influx of ordering. And so, yeah, Lawrence, do you want to speak to that point about how important sort of stock levels are in your business?
I think, we've obviously been hit with COVID and then reopening again, and the demand of kind of what the British pub goer actually drinks kind of when they're out. I know a lot of people that have were able to open with outside space. They said they've had the best weeks they've ever had. So you've got that demand in stock, but then with us, where we're an importer as well, we've got the sort of, not headache, but Brexit to kind of deal with. So for us, it's key to really make sure that the reps know what stock is available and what they can actually sell and when it's coming in. So it was kind of a bit of a perfect storm, really, where it was great on one hand that you had everything kind of opening back up and everyone out in the pubs, but just to try and get stock in was a bit of a nightmare. So, and where we have sort of 250 products, we also have sort of another 100 products that rotate weekly as well. So for the reps, it's key to know what they can talk to customers about and what they can actually go in and sell.
Healthy things to think about. Point number 8 is identifying any competitors you want to either displace or keep them at bay. Nadeem, is this something that our fellow distributors and importers and wholesalers and manufacturers out there are going to have to sort of lean in on and pay attention to? Is it something that you guys have started sort of looking out for in the marketplace?
Definitely. Our aim for our business is not to just go out there and copy what's in the market. We're out there to innovate and give customers something new. What we've actually found is that by doing that, we're actually finding that people after a few months are replicating what we're doing and trying to supply it cheaper. So that is something that we've got to be keen on and keep an eye on. So we've got to focus there on marketing, even still carry on developing new products, what the market actually needs, not just sell something cheap and say, look, we're the cheapest in the market, because I don't believe in being the cheapest always. It's about having the right products and keep growing our business that way.
Brilliant. No, that's spoken really well. Point number 9 is about the establishing or rebuilding relationships and doing that as a priority. So this is what our customers in the UK have fed back to us as a tick list checkpoint that we need to focus on. So yeah, Lawrence, do you want to speak to that at all? How important is it to get back out there and build out those relationships as a priority?
I think it's key. I mean, for me, hospitality is about people. Whether you're a consumer or you run a pub, it's all about people. So there's a lot of talk of maybe condensing reps or cutting reps and have it managed by an online system or whatever. But ultimately, I feel that building relationships and building a business that way is far more beneficial than just sending an email out every week. And for us, it's the educational side as well. It's not just we sell in the product and be done with it. We want to sell in a portfolio to a pub, but then also make sure the staff know what they're selling.
Yeah.
So the educational side of it, it's about them going in, going, look, we can sell you Polana, Munich Lager, Kona Big Wave, but we're going to tell you about it, and we're going to make sure that you know exactly what you're selling. Because ultimately, for us, it is an upsell. But having that relationship makes it a hell of a lot easier to kind of arrange those staff trainings. And I mean, that's the fun part of the job, right?
There you go. And I mean, I think it's fair to say that, well, we certainly wouldn't be in business if it wasn't about building face-to-face relationships. I mean, our software helps to leverage and engage on that exact medium. So we believe in it through to our very core. So it's great to see it coming out of the mouths of our customers as well, because it hopefully means we're going to be in business for a while, which is good. Point number 10 is about reading up on any industry changes. So I know for a fact, once again, this one sits very close to Skynamo's heart. We've had a few of these big game shifters. GDPR was the first one a little while back, and now we've got COVID. But of course, how has the pandemic resulted on changes to protocols? I mean, you've got to look at Brexit at the moment and all the bunch of red tape and different procedures and protocols that have had to change and adapt to this, the situation that we're in with Brexit as an example. Make sure that you're familiar before going out there. So before your teams of reps go out, before managers go out, or customer success people chat to customers again, you need to know what's happening in your industries. So read the latest trade publications, get online, read the blogs, bring yourself up to speed. Everybody's been dormant for a while, and hopefully the ones that are ahead of the game have been reading up on those industry changes. So that was point number 10. We're going to round out with hopefully hearing back from Nadeem as well as Lawrence on this particular point if we can. So the point number 11 is communication, and basically communicate with customers, right? Let your customers know that you're still in business. Nadeem, how important is it to communicate with your customers, specifically now in this current environment?
It's key. Without that, you've really honestly got no business. The saying is out of sight, out of mind. If you don't, if you're not in your customers' minds, there's always somebody else there to take your space. That's as simple as that. That's the way we see it. So no matter what, even if it's just a simple text or a WhatsApp, whatever, to say, you're okay, everything's good, whatever. I find that customers, the best customers are the ones that you have the best relationships with. Trust them, give them good service, look after them, and that's key to business.
Yeah,
product actually does sometimes come second, believe it or not. It's your relationships, what you're doing with them, how you can grow your business with them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just go from there.
I'd have to agree with you there, although I will say I've tasted some of your samosas and they are absolutely divine. Yeah. If anybody out there wants to go ahead, go onto LinkedIn. Nadeem's constantly putting little great videos. He's a bit of a chef as well. Delicious. The food is amazing. So keep producing those incredible delicacies. Lawrence, anything to add there around the communication and how critical that is to your business?
Yeah, I think for us, I mean, coming out of this, it was key. We had, especially the stages that we kind of opened up hospitality. I mean, you had pubs that only had outdoor space. So you then we then tasked the reps with obviously finding out who had outdoor space. So we then had to build runs around that. So we needed to make sure they were going to order for that week. We needed to make sure we could have stock in. So now we're on to the second phase where it's obviously inside. So we need to communicate with all the customers to see who's opening, to see who's keeping permanent lines pouring, who's keeping stock in. And then you've kind of got the June opening as well, where it's kind of all like free for all, really. I mean, it's back to normal, as it were. So yeah, throughout those stages, communication has been key, just to make sure that we can facilitate everyone's orders and make sure it runs smoothly. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's been massive for us.
Fantastic, great, excellent. So the last point is basically really about, you know, sweat the small stuff, right? So here at Skynamo, it's about attention to detail. We've always said it, and we like to sweat the small stuff. So remember, if you've got teams of sales reps who are getting back out there, if you do have fleet vehicles, make sure that your petrol cards are recharged. If you've got cell phones for the guys or tablets, make sure that there's data in it. Little things like chargers, you know, you don't want to forget a charger when you've got a really important meeting. You need to be out there in the field, maximizing your time. So sweat the small things. Little welcome packs, people back in the office when they do come for meetings, cups of coffees, donuts. These little things go a long way when we haven't had face-to-face interactions with people. So sweat the small stuff. What I wanted to say was just a really big thank you to my guests here. We've actually come to the end of our 12 points. Nadine, you've been amazing. You continue to impress us as one of our customers. Lawrence, you and your crew at Cave Direct have been absolutely, I don't know what the word is. You've pivoted in such an environment, sort of creating a consumer part to your business to help you get through COVID, and now you're back out there. So both of you are exemplary clients, and Skynamo, you know, loves working with customers like yourselves who are at the forefront of just getting stuff done and making a difference. So we love that you're back out in the field. So I just wanted to give you thank you for joining us on this video cast, and we hope that you found it valuable. And then I just really want to say, for anybody who's watching this, please, if any of this has resonated with you, if you want to find out any more helpful tips, I'll reiterate it. There's 12 points. We'd like to unpack each and every one of those with you. We've got an array of different customers in the UK. Specifically, we've got a big target and a drive on food and beverage customers at the moment. So yeah, just once again, really want to thank you to our customers, and you will be receiving a downloadable PDF with 12 points. And yeah, we thank you for watching. Guys, cheers. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy selling.
Thank you.
Cheers, Brian. See you later.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.